I don't think the doors line up any longer. Let's get Project Rust Bucket started. What do you think? First things first, we gotta get this body at least rigid enough that I can get it off the frame, because as you've seen from my past video, and I'll link it down below, where I did a walk around pecking on the frame, checking for holes and bad rust spots and stuff like that. The frame has some bad places in it, but it's not totally Swiss cheese. The body, on the other hand, obviously is. But the problem of it is I can't get the body off the frame without the body falling apart. So first thing we got to do, I've got some square tubing, and we're going to start framing out this tub to make it strong and rigid enough that I can at least pick it up to repair the frame. But first things first, when we start framing it out, we got to get these doors square again, because obviously, as you've seen, the doors will not close. The first thing you really want to do in any type of construction thing, you want to analyze the situation. Why are things doing what they're doing? Obviously the rust is weakening everything. That's like duh. But here's your body mount. This, oh, I just got smacked by the door. Gusts of wind blew the door, smacked me right in the shoulder. So, body mount shot, and so the body has dropped down over top of the mount right here. Well, when the body drops like that, there's no metal through here, so it's flexing. If you see right here, the metal is actually tearing because the door frame, as the body's dropping, the part of the door frame right here is bending inward like this, and the whole rest of the door here is dropping down. So it's squeezing this part right here in. Where this used to be kicked back at a bit of an angle, is now closer inward angle like this. So what we got to do is jack the body up. And probably what I'll do is I'll get my floor jack, put me something under it right here, pick the body up to get it back square as much as possible. And I'll keep closing the door and aligning the door area here till I get it properly positioned. Then we'll start putting some tubing in right here to start re-brace this back up. So that tubing is also, it's going to come down like this right here and probably come across. That'll give me a place to tie in some more sheet metal where I'm going to keep sheet metal. Because as I mentioned before, my past video when I did one of the introductions as to do I want to save this thing or not, I kept talking about wanting to do a both sides cut on this. Confirmed, I'm doing both sides. So let's make life a little bit easier on ourselves. First thing we need to do is try to get these seats out here, and that ought to be interesting. Alright, getting the seats out, you got 9/16 here and 9/16 back there, then you got two bolts that you got to get to from the bottom here. We'll get to those in a second, but I'm going to go ahead and pull those out. Now, as rushed as this thing is, I'm expecting everything to break as I take it apart. So if it does, I don't care. If it don't, I don't care. Both fell through the floorboard. Alright, told you guys a moment ago. That one you get to from the top. Those you got to get, the other three you got to get from the bottom. What do y'all think? Y'all want this? Seats out. I got a hole in my floor. I ate my Wheaties and I ripped the seat completely out of the Jeep. Shoot, you could have ate frosted flakes and pulled that mess out. Look at that. And I'm gonna save the seat frames here. I'm gonna probably reuse those, but the seats are obviously gonna be junk. Don't know what kind of seats we're gonna put in it yet, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But I'll save these and the seat rails. I may put me a set of Pontiac Sunfire seats in it like I did my 91. We'll see when that point gets there. I'm going to vacuum the rust out of my driveway. Okay, before we get too destruction happy, right here underneath all this stuff, you've got a wiring harness. Here, that goes over to your seat belt over there. And then you gotta pull this down here. You got these little hooks up underneath here, but these little hooks are gonna stay because I'm gonna run my tubing. See where these pop rivets are? Those pop rivets, I'm gonna knock those out, and I'm gonna put my tubing right down through there to tie into. And as you see, I'm probably going to cut some of this right here out, and I gotta take that off so I don't damage it, all my wiring and such. So I gotta drive this thing. Well, I took it to the emissions thing to get the tailpipe sniff and all that, because it's something we have to do here in this county in Tennessee. And this thing had no seat belts in it. So I happen to have had these seat belts here, which were actually the seat belts that come from the back of this. But as you see here, your factory seat mounts, your seat belt mounts, like they're down in this neighborhood somewhere. It's gone, not there, non-existent. Okay, so I can't drive across town with those seat belts because I'm risking getting a ticket. Well, zip ties to the rescue. It looks convincing anyway, and Popo didn't know the difference, but it got me there and back. I'm getting all froggy ripping this sucker apart, and I totally forgot to show you guys something. Right here's the harness where it goes up next to your roll bar and to the side of the body. Right here on the sides through here is this little piece right here. This stuff just jumped right off anyway. Stay. This is piece right here. What it does, it bolts in right there. It keeps your harness, tucked in out of the way and safe. Well, the self tappers that factory put in, 1/4 inch, so you have to take those out. Just in case you guys didn't know that was there. See, this goes all the way back on the bed rail, the tub rail right here. So yeah, but we'll get that later. I just need to get this area right here cleared out so I can start working with that and get that door supported. Right through here's the harness we're dropping down. And you see it goes right down through the corner of the tub right there, which goes down to your tail lights. And here's somebody hooked in a trailer hitch, pigtail. The frame right through here at this end right here, pretty well destroyed. But I will patch that back in. This side over here, not totally bad shape, but I'm gonna replace it anyway. Yeah, put a receiver hitch back here, that would be like scary. Okay, I pulled the back seat out of it because here's what I'm not thinking. A square tubing is gonna come right to the bottom of that door right through there. Then it's gotta kick up this way because I gotta make a corner right here to support that door corner right there, okay? So I'm gonna bring my tubing down this way and that way to support that. I ain't exactly figured out how I'm going to run it yet. This is the reason I went ahead and pulled the back seat out of it, pulled the carpet out of it, and kind of see where I want to bring the line across. Now, some of you are going to be wondering, why would you do that? That is a very good question, and I'm not going to answer it right now. Y'all just have to subscribe to the channel so you can watch this build series and see what I'm up to. Okay? Just subscribe. You'll know. You'll figure it out. So I'm going to pull this carpet out. The carpet's actually, aside from being dusty and dirty, is in really good shape. And CD changer, wait a minute. Ain't got no magazine in it. So the dude I bought it from, Wesley, really cool guy. If that thing had CDs in it, I thought they might have been his. I'd holler at him and say, yo dude, got you some tunes. He's a pretty cool dude. Alright, so I'm going to rip his CD changer out of here and pull this carpet up and see what kind of mess we got going on. Oh crap, I thought those would come out. I thought he had that notched. Or whoever paid it had notched. I guess not. Dang it. Well, I guess I'm about to take a screwdriver or whatever it is I need to do, take that out. We'll be back. No, I'm not trashing it. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. Because I don't really care nothing about carpet, but hang it right there, because whenever I did, just dumped all the crap that was rolled up in it into the trash. Now, do y'all see something wrong with this picture? Which I knew this is already like this, but I know some of the intro videos I did, the first time, you know, I drove it, and the next time was I deciding whether I was going to build it, keep it, what I was going to do with it. I'd already found this, but I forgot to put this in the insert. But look, into the video, insert it into the video. That's what I meant to say. Look at that. Come across here. Look at that. Again, here y'all come. Ain't no way you're gonna say that. Y'all seen that floor right there, and I know you're thinking, really? No, what are you gonna do with that? It's a good question. I know what I'm gonna do with it, but you don't. Not yet. So you better subscribe as this build moves on. Now, yes, there was a point that I thought about scrapping this thing, and the more I drove it around the neighborhood a few times, and it just ran so good I really couldn't bear with tearing it apart. Okay, which if you guys have followed my channel, those of you who've seen that video, you know, you've seen my decisions, my thinkings, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, there was a point when I showed some pictures of it to somebody, and they said, guess what? You can't do that. That can't be saved. You can't do that. That is just too much. Hold my beer and watch this. I can hear now some of y'all thinking, what he say? Did he just say beer? Yep, I sure did. I'll tell y'all something. My bloodline comes from East Tennessee, right around the Gainesboro area. And the rest of my bloodline comes from the Appalachian Mountains of Kentucky, up in the Hazard, Hyman area. Very close to where Loretta Lynn was born at. So y'all watch like Coal Miner's Daughter. Listen to the way they talk. You know, as you go to different places around the United States, you can hear people with their different accents, dialects, whatever. You know, you go up north, they talk really fast, and like I know people from Chicago area who you want to go with who, with what, you know. But then you come down south, and we got that southern drawl. Then you go up in the Appalachian Mountains of Kentucky, Virginias, and all that. It's just a cool thing. You really meet so many different people, the way they talk. Because whenever used to go up north a lot, they used to sit and just stare at me. Oh, keep talking, because we love the way you talk, you know. So yeah, the Appalachian Mountains of Kentucky, they talk a little bit different up there. But I tell you what, there's some of the most beautiful people up there you'll ever meet. Awesome, great people that do anything in the world for you. So yeah, I said beer. Okay, now that y'all know my bloodline, let's get back to work. So now we're going to pull these seat mounts out right here. I'm hanging under those, keeping these. Am I going to use them? I don't have no idea. I might not, don't know, but I'm not throwing them away just yet. Because as with any type of build that you do, whether it be a Jeep, car, motorcycle, whatever, you got to... You kind of get this envision as this is what I want it to be, you know. But as evolution does, as you get into the build, you think, wait a minute, this is pretty cool, but what if I go a little bit this way? What if I go a little bit that way? It's what makes building cars, Jeeps, motorcycles, stuff like that. It's what makes it fun. I am not. If you come to my channel looking for something, this is how you put it together from the factory, you're on the wrong channel. because I don't do factory builds. Only time I would do a factory build if it was like a factory Hemi-Cuda or a factory big block Chevelle, or I mean something along that kind of lines. You know, Cobra, the old Boss Mustang or something. Something that deserves to be put back together, numbers matching. Then we'll talk about numbers matching. But if it's anything less than that, I got news for you. I'll hack them up in a second. And I'm gonna love this build right here, because it's actually the only build I've ever gotten to just go berserk on and not feel like I had a guilty conscience of tearing something apart that was, you know, really nice to begin with. You know, I get to go totally nuts on this one, and I have it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, to the side of the Jeep again. I wanted to clear out all that back through there, because I like to try to keep thinking one step ahead of, okay, I'm gonna tie this door section together to brace it up so it doesn't tear this the rest of the way. But you know, as I do my metal, which way am I gonna go with it next? It's kind of like you always got to think a couple steps ahead of where you're at. Now here's the back side of the pop rivets, and I want to drill them out, but they're a little bit higher than I really want them, so I'm gonna go ahead and drill them out and get them out of the way. Then what I'll do is I'll cut my tubing, lay it in through here, put a draw magic marker line or a Sharpie marker right on the bottom end of it. They'll tell me where I want my big holes to go through at, to where I can weld in. But you'll see that here in a moment. And I'm going to save a little wire wrap thing, my footman loop right there, because you never just know. You might come in handy somewhere. All this right here is going to go away whenever I put the both side pieces in. All this right here is going to go away all the way back to about right along in here, just on the other side of the body mount. And I don't know exactly where yet, it's just all where the metal falls out. This isn't scientifically figured out. I'm kind of winging it as I go, just fabricating it as I go. But yeah, I'll just hang tight, you'll see. Okay, correction, I'll take that out when I cut this junk out. Looky, there's my foot. Oh, always pull your body plug so the water drains out, just let you know. Okay, I'm kind of eyeballing my tubing going in right now. Kind of pull it up where it lines up with this seam, it's where the sheet metal rolls right here. You pull it through here, then we got this brace is in the way right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of eyeball it best I can, though, because it's hitting right up here with the e-brake cable that's through the floor. So I'm eyeball it best I can. I'm going to mark this brace and take that part of that brace out. So this sits down on top of this. I can weld it into it. But even if where it is set up above this right here, that'll make this run a little bit high, which is okay, because then I can just take a little by little and trim this brace out till it sits on this tubing straight like it should. And if I need to, I'll just notch out the floor up here, because when I do the both side piece, now a lot of this junk's going to go away, and I don't know exactly where back here yet that I'm either going to add or take out metal. But this is just body structure right here to reinforce the trailer, keep from it ripping out. And I'm going to do the other side the same way, but it's also another purpose that whenever I put the both sides pieces in, the tubing I'm using for that, which is way bigger than this right here, it's like 2 inches tall tubing, and it's I think it's 4 inch. Heck, it's up my dad's. I gotta go get it probably sometime this weekend. And this is gonna sit on top of the big fat tubing. The big fat tubing is going to go back in this way. It's going to be flat, and I'm going to let it stick out probably by an inch and a half, 2 inches or so, to create a step to get up into the Jeep. Or if I want to do it, if I decide whenever I get my tubing bender, if I want to do an exoskeleton on the outside, the tubing that I'm going to use for the both sides is going to stick out further enough that I can like put tubing, terminate the tubing on top of the step right there. So it's going to act as a step to get into the Jeep, and possibly if I do an exoskeleton on it, that I can tie onto it too. Just trying to plan ahead on that. So that's the reason I kind of cut this off 50 inches, that not exactly sure back here where I'm terminating things at. So I've got that brace trimmed back, and I had to take out part of the floor up here so they end up would have a clearance to lay in. You see here where I laid the 1 inch in, magic marker down through there. Some of the holes actually fell well within center. So from the inside, I took a 3/8 bit, knocked me a hole in the middle from this line to this curve right here. That's where I'm going to take and do my spot welds through the body. So then, had one, need my glasses, one here, one there. Took me a straight edge, center of that hole, drew me a line with a Sharpie, extended that line all the way up front here. So now I know that that line, of course, being the center all the way through there, I can drill me some places to plug weld on that line, and I know I'm good that I'm going to hit it whenever I put the 1" in behind there. The holes that I drilled, plus the ones where the rivets were, on the back side back here, it's going to have burrs sticking out through the metal. So I'm going to take my little die grinder here, come through here and knock off all the burrs, feather the paint back, go on the inside, do the same thing. So therefore the metal on the inside lays flat against the sheet metal, and I've got a good solid surface to weld to. So cleaned up the holes. Got my holes all cleaned up, and I've got my 1" set in place right here, and you can see the holes here, and you can see the 1". So I just take my marker, and what my plan is, I'm just going to simply, those places I'm marking, I'm going to take my grinder and knock it down to bare metal, so therefore I got a good strong weld. Eat peanuts, I got them things in my teeth. So, right here, the metal, it's kind of, it goes flat, it goes rip, big old bump right there. So when I get, you know, I'll tack weld through here, plug weld all those, and I'll get to that one, I'll plug weld it. I'll probably knock that hole a little bit bigger because of this hump right here. So I'll plug weld that, then I'm going to take me a hammer, or get a 2x4 or something like that, get between this and a hammer and knock the metal in. Or maybe this might work. Yeah, it's better. I think I might have to still take the hammer and massage that metal inward a little bit, but like I said, I'll make this hole a little bit bigger here. So this will be solid. I can flatten that out, hold it in place, then tack weld on this side. I'll probably go ahead and put me another hole right here. So I hope that it'll come through here, that hump builds that right there. I mean, everything below this 1" all the way through here is gonna get cut out. That's where my next piece of tubing comes in right here for the boat cut, for the boat size. Then I'll shoot, I got some flat stock, 6" bar stock, and I'll taper it down an angle and bring it into the body mounts. The metal right here is wanting to set up off the sheet metal here is wanting to come away from the tubing. So remedy that situation. So you got a hole there and a hole there. Position them in between those fingers, weld her up. Oh. Okay, here's that hump in the metal I was referring to a minute ago. See how it's sitting up off the tubing right here? So we can beat that baby in submission here. Much better. Now you notice when I beat that in, it rolled this edge out. So what I'll do is now I'll plug weld that one. Maybe I can beat this one a little bit while I'm at it. Wait a little bit. Now I'll plug weld that one. Take my clamp, put it on the edge of that, squeeze it in, and then I'll tack it to the bar stock. I mean the tubing. Clamp's kind of in the way, so I'm just going to tack it on one side right there, I think. Now I'm going to move my clamp. I think. Duh, come from the bottom, duh. There. Oops, knocked it in. If y'all think I'm going to do a bunch of body work to this thing, y'all crazy. Ain't happening. I'll put a piece of metal in right there to make it look flat. Because me no cur. Building a toy, not a show ride. Much better. Now let's see what we can do about this. Oh, that hurt. Yeah, that fish looks like crap. If I get the clamp there, it's my helmet. Oh well. Oops, blew a hole in it. Ouch! People are smart to weld with gloves on. Well, earlier when I was explaining how I thought the metal was going as far as how it's pivoting because of the way the body mount is ripped out right here, and the way the tear was going on right here, it made me think that the metal was bending down like this. Well, now that I'm trying to line the door, put the door line back in place, it doesn't appear to be going like that. So when I jacked it up right here, and I got my forward jack pushed up right there, it pivoted all that upward, which closed up my line on my door here, which does what I wanted it to do. But my problem here, and this lines up a lot better here. But now my problem still is my door latches. If I can turn the camera around so you can see what's up. Okay, there you can see the striker bolt in the latch. Now before it was, the striker bolt was way down below the latch. And now it's pretty well horizontally pretty well intact. But now my problem is I gotta close this gap up right here. I gotta bring my striker back toward the front to close up the door gap so that it closes correctly. And so now I'm kind of at a head scratcher. How am I going to pull the body that way? Ponder. But it's definitely closer than it was because, like I said, this was way down below that. Wasn't nowhere near close. Now I'm at least close, but I got to bring my striker bolt in toward the front, and still I gotta pick it up just a little bit. So now I gotta head scratch a little bit, figure out how I'm gonna bring it that way. What appears to be going on, or what I'm making a halfway bit of a guess, is that, okay, because that line right there where it meets the door is laying backwards too far, it's not allowing the striker bolt to line up with the door. So that's making that post right there, not the roll bar, but that post right there laying back too far. So what I'm guessing is because of this back here being broken, and that's broken because there's no body mounts back here. So this whole back end is dropping down like this, moving the doorpost back. Well, I was really wanting to hold out before I made these certain cuts, because I was really wanting to get to the point before I exposed what I was going to build, what I finally decided to build. Okay, because of all this crap back here just being totally destroyed, not even worth fooling with, I was going to do kind of like a pickup truck or like a CJ8 truck cut type cut, to where everything back this way was going to be gone, exposed frame back here. Now I was going to build like a little flatbed area, and I'm not sure, you know, from where my partition wall back, or the back of the cab, or whatever it is you want to call it, back, I haven't totally written that in stone yet, what I'm going to do with it. But because of all this back here being junk, the cuts I'm going to make on the cab, or the tub right there, and right there, may actually help me line my doorpost back up. So I was really avoiding doing that. For one, I was wanting to see, let you guys guess how I was going to do this build. And for two, I was really wanting to keep the top on it, to, you know, for the exposure of the dash getting rained in and stuff like that. I'm not going to use any of the dash stuff. I'm going to flat dash it, so the gauges, the dash pad, all the plastics like that, all that's going to go. So eventually all that stuff will probably be for sale, except for the heater controls. The heater controls are probably going to go in my other rig. So with that being said, I think I'm about to pull the top off this thing and make my cuts right there, because I can sit here and beat myself up trying to figure out how to bring that doorpost forward, but realizing it's not going to go because how all this back here is buckled up. I mean, I know what I'm going to do in the end, so I might as well just make my cuts, make it easy on myself, move that doorpost up so I can line my doors up. Well, I was trying to avoid pulling the top off, so therefore protect the dash from the rain and such, but I'm kind of in a situation where I can beat myself against the wall trying to make things happen, or I can just make it happen any way I need to, which is what I'm going to do. So, knocked a hole through the body here, which is right at the top of that fender. I'm going to go ahead and cut the body right up through here. I'll probably end up bringing that body line forward some. I don't know yet, but I know it will not be back past this right here. So, chopping the body right through here. I'm going to go ahead and take off the rails here. If you guys know YJs, this is the factory soft top stuff for the YJs. Don't like it, pain in the tail. See, it runs in this channel right here, and there it is all piled up. And don't ask if I want to sell it, it's already spoken for. So yep, T40 Torx takes these off, so I'm fixing to take these belt rails off. Look at that. Yeah, I believe my neighbors think if they feed me enough, I'll get fat, lazy, and sleepy, and I'll quit making so much noise. It ain't gonna work. Now that was some good eating right there. Thanks Jerry, thanks Melanie. It almost worked. I'm full and I'm almost half sleepy, but I'll keep pushing on. Thank you. All right, let's get y'all caught up. I told you I drilled that hole over here. I went and took my saw, my cutoff saw, my air cutter, come down this way, kind of notched this out back in here so I could get back inside here. My original intention was going to follow that down through here, but you know, that's so far gone right there, and I'm still pretty well convinced I'm not going to use any of the fender. I'm going to make my own fender type stuff anyway. So I went ahead and left this in place to hold this in place while I made this. I cut this off at about 15 inches over on the chop saw. I angled this to match this going inside here. Oops, wrong way. It sits beside there like this right here. Then I pressed it, lining it up against where it fits against a groove that's up inside here. Now you see this radius right here, it actually sets back off there for some reason a little bit up in there, but I mean it's made, you see it's sitting there good and flat. So I took my marker, marked a line there, a line there, a little line there, a little line there, just kind of give me an indication of where my angles were. Angle finder, aligned it there, to give me the line to shoot this way. Took the tubing out. Then I set this in here. Line there, set it over here to where I made this line here. Maybe a line there. Then straight edge it. Where I put it at. All the way through here. So what that's going to do now is I'll take my drill in between these lines in the center, much like what we did here. It gives me my places to do my plug welds through there. I'm not going to weld it to this yet, but I'm going to go ahead and plug weld it to this, which will give me, you know, my attachment here. Then when I take this loose, close my door, and line this up with my door and everything, then I can tack weld this right here to hold everything in place. That's my plan. We're about to see if this is going to work out like I planned. So, yep. Let's see if we can go ahead and get some holes drilled through here and get that bar plug weld in. Alright, check this out. After doing that relief cut right there to allow that to tilt forward, I jacked this right here up with a jack to line up here. And this is just about in line. So close, in fact, that this almost closes. Let's see. Where's it at? There it is. The striker bolt is pretty doggone close to locking in. And if I push it, that's actually going in and engaging into the striker bolt in the door lock itself. It's not quite there, but it's really close. So, I mean, just doing that cut right there helped out a lot. So just a little bit tweaking, I'll be ready to weld this baby in place. So let me see what I gotta do to get her to line up, and I'll be back and tell you what I've done. Check this out. Took the jack, kept pushing up on it. My striker bolt up here, eventually lined up. The door's actually closed right now. The lines are properly lined up here. You can tell by, I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but this is aligned properly. See how twisted that is? That's because everything back here is so jacked up where the floor fell apart on the Jeep. No body mount back in the back, so it's got this whole rear tub section just totally jacked up. Alright, so we got our body lines matching up here like it's supposed to. The door lines through here are matching like they're supposed to, but of course the door's set outward from the body. That's because it still needs to be pulled outward like this. By it being pulled out, it's because there's no floor, so all this is sinking inward. So once I get the tubing put in down here, this is the tubing just to support the door sections to hold it in place like it needs to be. Once I get the rock rail section put in and tie it to the floor with the both sides, the 1/4 inch plate and the big tubing here, that'll hold this out where it's supposed to be, and my doors are properly aligned. Okay, some of you are going to be asking, why do you worry about the doors? I want this to be a versatile rig to where if I want to run these doors, I can run these doors. I want to be able to run whatever the heck I want to run, you know? That's the beauty of taking a piece of junk like this and building it to whatever you want it to be. I mean, that's the beauty of having stuff like this. You get to be creative at whatever the heck you want. So it's all good. So I'm happy enough with the way that's going to line up. So I'm going to go ahead and burn that in place, and then next we'll put the we'll see what we got to do, start putting the rock rails and stuff in to hold this out like it's supposed to be. So I'm going to go ahead and burn that in. Check that out. Woo-wee. Baby straight right there now. Still got a little bit of bracing to do down here, but that's because of the oh, it's still hot too. Still putting the rock rails and stuff in, the ties to the body mounts, so that will support the bottom once the rock rails and the both sides are put in. Okay, look at this. Now this up here will be solid. It'll be stiff. The structure will be stiff once again the rock rails and all the framework is finished putting in behind the door and ties everything together. Okay, check this out. Ooh, look at that smooth, baby. And I'm just flicking my wrist. Beautiful. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Today was progress. that is awesome. Got the door closing properly. As you've seen, just flick the wrist, boom, it closes. Easily opens. That's the way the door should work, as you shall know. Once we get the rock rails like that in, then the bottom structure hold itself in place. That is for the next video. So everyone, if you enjoyed this little trip, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, because this now starts the build of Rust Bucket. And I kind of gave a little bit of a clue on which direction it's going to go. You know, doing like a pickup truck CJ8 type style cut. Of course, as with any build, that's my idea for right now, but it may go totally left field by the time I get done with it. Who knows? But with all the rust and rot it's got into it, there's really not much metal to save, which gives me the options to do whatever the heck I want to. So hit me that thumbs up if you like it, subscribe if you haven't, leave me some comments down below what you think so far, give me some ideas. Maybe you guys can give me a cool idea that says, hey, that's awesome, I'm gonna do that, you know. So down in the comments, give me some cool ideas if you got something. Everyone, I really appreciate you hanging out with me. Until the next video, we put in the rock rails. Peace out. Later, y'all.